As long as nobody asks me about Ben Simmons' jump shot or Joel's health or things like that, I'm happy and here I am. So your question is who stood out?
If who stood out, if anything that we didn't talk about the past couple of days that
I
stood
mean,
out.
this is the plan today, and we achieved the plan. We have had an excellent week, and we didn't introduce stuff today. We tried to just polish up what we have put in. We achieved what we wanted to. We met pretty much every day the month of September, offense, defense, special teams, ATOs, all that, to figure out what's most important. And we identified it and we did it. And so today was about just reminding them and going back on like this is what's in place, and we were able to do that. In relation to what that means to what stood out, it was a hard environment for people to stand out. It was more just polishing up and very sort of not physical today. Like we have a scrimmage tomorrow. We've gone multiple days in a row. We felt it wasn't going to be smart to do that.
Brett, like a week into basically a week into seeing this line up the team and all the size, did anything stood out to you or surprised you that made you thinking about things differently or got back to the drawing board or anything?
Not really. I mean, I think you think about it all summer, and you have sort of preconceived ideas of how you're going to maximize the group. And I think that we're, moving forward to doing that. And I feel quite comfortable on what does that look like and how you're going to implement it. The outliers as sort of like pre-mortems, if you're going to die, what's it look like stuff, it's like small ball. People are going to come in and just go tiny and play speed ball, jack threes, and, Al's going to go guard Kemba or something like that, And so like that's always on my mind. People are going to, sit in the zone. Maybe they don't think, we're as good a perimeter shooting team as we are other parts of the game. So stuff like that's always on my mind, and we're nipping at that. But to date, there is nothing that has disappointed for me expectation since I've been in the gym with them.
Do you anticipate that going super small is going to be the most common counter you kind of?
I don't know. Like it's such a well-coached league, in a well-scouted league. And I only throw that out there as examples. I don't know, but what I do know is I'm always thinking about that side of my job, so that we can be best prepared as we can be.
Brett, Tobias was thrown into like a pretty tough situation last year where he's joining a team that wanted to contend right in the middle of the season. How have you seen him evolve, whether that's on the court or off the court, since he's had him since February?
I feel like he's at peace. I think that there is a stability and the reality that the contract showed how much we valued him. And it comes with a grounding sort of approach and certainly responsibility, but I feel like that stability and sort of, I'm sure some level of peace of mind has allowed him to come in and really sort of even grow to be more himself. I think he's a natural born leader. He's an incredible human being, and he's good. And so you take all that stuff, and he's not old. It's a heck of a future that I'm looking at with him, and I think that his actions, if I'm guessing to answer your question, I think some of that all mixed together has created an environment that he's very comfortable in.
Does Furkan come in strength mentality-wise, just being better than
Furkan, yeah. He's just older. There's always, you can never underestimate a few years. You look at Matisse versus Furkan. Furkan knows me, knows my words, knows the system, has played NBA basketball, just come back from, playing overseas at the World Championships. And so he just feels a little bit older, feels a little bit more mature, feels a little bit more in rhythm to what we're trying to achieve. And, that tournament that we're talking about, those young wings, that's going to be fantastic. It's going to be interesting to watch that play out.
Has he been running with the twos a lot, Furkan?
Has he been running with?
Just second to backup.
I mix them up. Like I mix up. There's probably 5 guys with Mar and Matisse and Shake and Zaire and Ferk. Like I spin them around, and I spin Trey and Haul around as well. And so, yeah, like it's not there yet.
But would you say that he brings a different element than those guys? I mean, they're athletic defenders, and he could have a niche on that second unit.
I agree with you, Keith. I mean, it gets down to making shots.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's people that can make shots, make threes, are going to stand out. And you look at the team that we have. I think we're going to guard. I think that we have multiple weapons. But maybe, you know, the key with some of those fringe guys, those guys that aren't going to be sort of major minute guys, is can you come in and be lightning in a bottle and come in and make some shots and make something happen from that capacity. And I think Furkan has the ability to do that.
What are you hoping to get out of the scrimmage tomorrow? Like what type of tone, intensity, all of that sort of thing?
I just see the work that we have put in have a chance to be played against bodies in a competitive environment with a clock and refs and fans, and watch just the base that we have put in play out, and to go down to Delaware and, you know, show them our own appreciation for the relationship we have. It's a big thing to take a preseason game, an NBA game, or an inter-squad scrimmage anywhere, and I know they don't take it for granted, like it's calculated. We're bringing it to Delaware because we value our relationship. Or we would, you know, we've had it at the Palestra before, you know, which is great to play that game in the city. But it certainly is a statement from our side, the relationship that we value, and from a coaching perspective, you just hope to see the carryover of that base that I think that we've put in.
We've seen
I think Al's going to make us a better team all over the place. I think in a locker room, I think offensively, defensively, pick 'em. Anything to do with what's most important and what it takes to establish a championship mentality, attitude, culture, accountability. Pick 'em. Go wherever you want. He's just all class and he's very, very good.
I've seen you working a good amount on ATOs and out of bounds plays. What goes into the construction of that? How much of it is analytics, film, thinking about what worked with this personnel, just what goes into the thought process there?
I mean, I play with stuff. I'll go in and, you know, run something 10 times in a row and just keep doing it, and then I'll move people around, and then I'll like change the angle and play with it. And you have a base that you think you want to work with, and then you maneuver within that. What goes into deciding what is the base? You know, 35 years of coaching, and, you know, 20 years of coaching in the NBA, and gut feel and a little bit of analytics, and, you know, just sort of inherent curiosity. But I think too, you know what I think about plays in general, because the creativity of coaches nowadays, when you can come out and they could be sitting in a zone, they could switch 1 through 4, keep 5 at home, they could stay at home, they could sag the inbounder, pressure the like there's just so many things that you're seeing. And to feel like you're going to come out with all the answers is really not smart. And so for me, I like to just put them in an environment, and that's the word, an environment, and then they got to choose different options out of it. That's the mentality when you're talking about need plays, ATOs, catch shot down 3, catch shot down 2, need 2 at time, all that stuff.
You've gotten a lot of questions about Zaire and Matisse. It seems like people are pretty excited about their defense. Would it be fair to say that they go about their defense a little bit differently, at least what their strengths are? Like Matisse is a little bit better maybe off the ball, and Zaire is kind of...
I think that's fair, Rich. I think it's to your point. Like they both are very, very good defensive players. Matisse's ability, stick with what you just said. Matisse's ability off the ball where he can cover ground and shoot gaps and get in lanes and pick stuff out of the sky with his length is stands out. I think that Zaire's gravity, like his center of gravity, where he's just dogging somebody and lowest sort of balance level. I say Avery Bray, reminds me of Avery Bradley at times. I think that, that side of it stands out for me of him. All under the roof that they both are just tremendous athletes and for sure elite defensive players for their ages. That carryover into an NBA game will be part of their learning curve, and but that is sure how they see the world. They play defense.
Take one more, guys.